Welcome to this very special event in the history of Champlain. Faculty Senate has adjourned, and we have given a few minutes for faculty to come over, and so we're going to go ahead and begin. I'd like to begin by introducing our president, Don Laackman, who will offer some welcome words.
Thank you, Betsy. I've been at Champlain for about 6 months, and Betsy is a driving force for many of the cultural enrichment that takes place here at the college. So I appreciate her efforts to make this day happen on Martin Luther King Day. It's a great way to start the winter semester, welcoming the St. John's Bible to the Heritage edition of St. John's Bible to Champlain College. And thanks to all of you, especially the students who are joining us for this unveiling. The St. John's Bible is the first handwritten and hand-illuminated Bible to be commissioned by a Benedictine monastery since the invention of the printing press. The Heritage Edition is a full-sized fine art reproduction of the 7-volume St. John's Bible. We'll be hosting the volume containing the Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles, my favorite books. It is a hope that in the coming year, the St. John's Bible will spur conversations both within and outside of the classroom. And this Bible is an invitation for our community to reflect upon content and form. Many of us are deeply familiar with the sacred content of the Gospels and the Acts. The St. John's Bible elicits reflection on the role of form, the beautiful hand-produced illustrations to illustrate content. Across our disciplines here at Champlain, students regularly wrestle with the interplay between form and content to communicate meaning. This Bible brings life to those efforts and the use of form to highlight sacred content. While the book will occasionally be visiting classrooms and local establishments, it will usually be found on display here at Miller Information Commons, residing in a handsome case, which you will see in a moment, handmade of Vermont cherry by Champlain College senior Zachary Sittler. So Zachary, thank you for your efforts. At this point, I'm going to turn it back over to Betsy to make some remarks before the end.
Thank you so much. Bringing the St. John's Bible here to Champlain was truly a collaborative effort. And we began this process last spring. The book arrived just last week, and it will be with us through December of 2015. So we have it for the entire year. It's very special for us as we think about ways to do programming and other events during the course of an entire year at Champlain. I'd like to thank a number of people who have made this possible. And so bear with me because I have one of those sort of Academy Awards lists of names. First of all, to Janet Cottrell and the library staff for offering the home to the library during the year, to the advancement team, and especially Eric Oliver, Hannah Campbell, and Heidi LeBrun. They handled all sorts of things to pull this together. The core division and the division of communication and creative media, as well as the office of the president and the provost, were instrumental in providing the funding to bring the book here. Chris Thompson, who is our curator in residence, handled all of the art logistics in having a work of art come, the transportation, whole variety of things. And Chris is also responsible for putting a series of rotating images on digital screens around the campus. And so if you look this way, this is the screen in the library. And there's a series of images from the Bible that will rotate. And to the right is an explanation of those illuminations. So thank you, Chris, for that. Brian Andrews designed the website, and we have a card next to the guest book if you'd like to take it. It has the web address on it if you'd like to see the additional content that we have on our website dedicated to the Bible. Don has already mentioned Zach Sittler. Is Zach here? Yeah. Could you step forward for just a moment, Zach? Champlain, and he built the case of Vermont cherry, and you will see it in its full glory in just a moment. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge a parent gift that has made possible the second year of Champlain Chautauqua. a series of educational and entertaining cultural programming. Our theme this year is text, broadly construed, and so the visit of the St. John's Bible ties in perfectly with the theme of this year's Chautauqua. Finally, I'd like to provide a special welcome to Mary Abele, who will be giving the multi-denominational blessing in just a moment. The entire Bible has more than 160 major illuminations and many, many more small illuminations, and 1,150 pages of text. We've got just a portion of this on display. As Don said, we have the volume containing Gospels and Acts, and we don't have the actual hand-drawn Bible. That, in its 7 volumes, is at the Abbey in Minnesota, the Abbey of St. John's University, where it was commissioned. Donald Jackson, the Queen's calligrapher, as he was in the middle of this process, decided that he would direct the creation of what's called the Heritage Edition. And this is the edition of the 7-volume Bible that travels around the world so that folks can actually interact with a Bible of the 21st century. It was very important to the monks of St. John's University that this Bible be something whose words and work inspires people of all faith. And so for that to happen, it can't remain under a glass dome at the Abbey in Minnesota. It needs to be able to get out and travel. And so we have the Heritage Edition, and that's what we've brought here today. It is absolutely magnificent, and in just a few minutes you will see it. But before that, when I talk to people about the Bible and bringing it here to Champlain, I'm asked 2 questions. One is, why bring a Bible to a secular institution? And the other is, what will you do with it for a year? So I suspect that many of you are wondering about those questions. Why bring a Bible, a work of sacred scripture, to a secular institution, and what are you going to do with it? So the Benedictines, who commissioned the St. John's University Bible, and you'll find some facts on this standing poster if you'd like more information about the process, have as core values hospitality, transformation, and justice. And they were very committed to the idea that these values would be conveyed through the St. John's Bible. They were also committed to the idea that this be welcoming of all faith traditions. And indeed, when we unveil the Bible, the opening page is Jesus' genealogy. And you will see that instead of a conventional family tree, the lineage of Jesus is conveyed via a menorah. So that's a very, very quick example of the way that the artists and the scholars were very intentionally integrating various faith traditions that were non-Christian faith traditions. The Bible also reflects Champlain's values. It exemplifies the best of innovative interdisciplinary work, which is what we as 21st century educators are committed to. And so it is very fitting for us, although we're a secular institution, to host the Bible, because themes of interdisciplinarity, integration, innovation, inclusivity, creativity, and social justice run through our curriculum. I'm very excited to see what faculty and staff do to incorporate the Bible into the process of education that we so proudly participate in here at Champlain. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't connect the St. John's Bible to our Champlain College motto, Audiamos, let us dare. What an audacious project this was, to handwrite and to hand draw with beautiful calligraphy and using medieval materials and methods, the entire Christian Bible. It is my hope today that the spirit of this project inspires us throughout the year, whether we choose prayerful contemplation or intellectual contemplation. Let us dare to be inspired and to inspire others. And with that, I would like to invite Mary Abele, the Reverend Mary Abele, who is associated with All Souls Interfaith Gathering in Shelburne, to come forward to say a few words and then to participate in the unveiling and give a multi-denominational blessing. Thank you.
When I went to seminary to get my divinity degree, I of course looked over the required courses, and I saw a whole lot of courses in the Bible. My first reaction was, oh, boring. I'd already taken a Bible course, the required Bible course at Wellesley, and had not been moved at all. So I resolved to get the Bible courses over with in my first year. And a true biblical miracle occurred. They were fun, they were exciting, and ever so revealing. Imagine my surprise when I learned that not only had the Bible had a multitude of authors over the centuries, but it had also suffered the ministration of a strict board of editors. In the years after Jesus' death, the new Christianity was fast replacing paganism and the Roman gods, and had broken into all these different sects around the eastern end of the Mediterranean, and not all of them were agreeing with each other about what was what. So the early church fathers, first of all Irenaeus and Augustine, began to bring the Bible books together to create a standard that everybody could believe in and help them with their beliefs. As time went on, other bishops and even a few Roman emperors got on board here and had a lot to do with the way the Bible turned out. And it was eventually accepted by the bishops present at the Council of Hippo in the late 300s. Among the other edits, they were responsible for choosing the Gospels, these Gospels here that exist, and banning Gospels like Thomas. You know how many emerging Gospels they've been since the middle of the last century. They seem to be coming out of places one by one over the years, and I guess at the time they were squirreled away by Christians who had different views than the bishops. I think it's very exciting that Champlain College has been blessed with a copy of the 4 Gospels. And that, of course, was one of the decisions that there were only 4. Now, Irenaeus, we mentioned before, one of the first church fathers to work on assembling the Bible, said this is the reason that there are 4 Gospels. He said, "It is not possible that the Gospels can be either more or fewer in number than they are. Since there are 4 quarters of the earth in which we live, and 4 universal winds, when the church is scattered throughout all the world, and the pillar and ground of the church is the gospel and the spirit of life, it is fitting that she should have 4 pillars, breathing out immortality on every side and vivifying men afresh. Therefore, the Gospels are in accord with these things." Now, bringing the Bible back, as these wonderful Benedictines have done, into the 21st century is a daunting task. There's a delicate balance of catching the interest of the new generation and at the same time honoring the traditional text. There's a dilemma of attracting the attention of an increasing number of people who are disillusioned with faith. And finally, in a time when each week seems to be bringing one more story, horrible story about man's inhumanity to man, people's belief in the relevance of God is fading. I believe that the beauty of this extraordinary St. John's Bible, its modernity, and the spiritual energy that surrounds it and emanates from it will awaken new interest and respect and even excitement. Champlain is blessed to have a copy of it, and I hope it will travel widely in Vermont and inspire new hope and faith in all who see it.
Thank you so much, Mary. It's lovely. Now I'd like to ask Mary and Don to lift the cloth off of the case. And then Chris, if you'd come and open it and put it on the stand.
May this remarkable book, with its timely, beautiful illustrations, inspire people, as many people as can be reached, to see the God in themselves, the God in others, and the God in this beautiful planet.
Amen.
I'd like to invite you to come and look at the page we have opened to, and also partake of some refreshments. Thank you so much for coming today. Check out the website to see what events are forthcoming. We have a keynote speaker from St. John's in March, and 2 additional speakers in the fall semester. And tomorrow we have a brown bag lunch at 12:30 in the Morgan Room that core professor Steve Waymeyer will be giving. There will be a series of brown bags as well. So many things to partake in through the course of the year. You are here in the beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.